because he's so active finding the track, I would just wait, and he'll show. He's well, we'll talk about that. But so if I'm further along in my training, I might let him go away just to see how far will you go, right? Okay. Especially at a turn. So say it turned here and he started wandering that way, I would go ahead, get out about 20 feet, 25 feet, and then follow kind of tentatively just to see how far, since again, it's the next best thing to a blind track is to just kind of go with them rather than stop at the corner like you have been all through training, and see how far past the corner before they show you that loss of scent behavior, and then mark that. So if he gets clear across the street, raises his head and starts going back and forth, okay boy, that a boy, where's your track now? And anytime he starts coming back to me, I'm going to help him. I'm going to move backward a little bit if he comes back to him and help him. But teaching him to show me he lost the scent and teaching him to push me back and get back to it.
Okay.
Yes. So here we have a contrast with what we saw at the last time, right? Well, first off, what did you like about your track?
Well, I'm going to start with something that happened before the track because it's what I like the most so far. He took water, which I've never been able to get him to do.
Okay.
And he did that right at the end of the other dog's last track.
That's certainly good behavior, especially with the other stuff you do with him.
Yeah, and he won't do that with search and rescue. And so I'm thrilled with that. I'm working him on a shorter lead. Normally we work at about 25 to 30.
Yep.
And I'm comfortable.
Yeah.
So that was great. His initiative and everything was fantastic. And I think I did a good job of reinforcing each of the finds.
Finds, very good.
So I'm very pleased with it.
Okay. So, what are you going to work on?
Well, mileage is our big thing because we don't have much. But I think that the road crossing here was a challenge. We wouldn't have gone that way.
He looked like he was tracking.
He looked like he was tracking. And normally it's pretty clear when he's on, and he looked like he was on. So I think working the crossings is good, and that's something that we need to do, work those crossings. His responses to the metal articles was really good, considering we haven't done much with that.
Yeah.
So I think keep on finding good metal articles and reinforcing heavily on those.
In the parking lot.
Yes.
He, right before he got to that tree, I turned just past that little front-colored tree there. Right before that, he started going over toward the parking lot, and the wind's coming
Right.
from that way, right?
Yes.
And so he was exactly right.
Yeah.
And he got kind of caught down in that swell a little bit.
Right.
Came back up. And when I left off the curve there, I did that.
Okay.
Walked forward. He was trying to eat the ground. He was like, what is that? There's a lot of smell there, right? It was lovely. He really had his nose there. Then he got out of the parking lot and he got a little wild. Got a little out in the open and stuff. He missed this one.
Okay.
This is an invisible one.
Okay.
Meant to draw him out there, but not to use his eyes.
Okay.
And the big open expanse areas, what I see, and with the wind coming this whole leg down there, he's air scenting a lot.
Yes.
And that's why we're getting those wild kind of stuff. I suspect if you just took him off leash and let him go, he'd probably get there.
Correct.
And which is why I gave you a little more latitude when he turned here, since I knew there was an article up on that hill.
Right.
And also just a lot of scent across this.
Yes.
I was like, okay, how much is he just following the plume?
Right.
And with the buildings here,
Right.
what's happening. But he was getting a little too far off. So
Okay.
we got to get him back. So I would keep him for this. It's going to be interesting how you find the balance between this and the SAR work.
Right.
Because he needs a shorter line for this. He needs to not be so wild.
Okay.
Right? So as part of that, you got the opposite. We're going to meld you and Pat together.
Okay.
Okay? And when you get to the articles, actually I want you to be a little calmer.
Okay.
Not throw the article.
Okay.
You can tug a little bit.
I normally would do cheese trade go forward.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I thought as long as you were saying let's make it a party,
Well,
I thought
that's
let's
fine.
do it.
I get it, right? That's why we individualize these tracks.
Okay.
So with him, what you did do after you did that, you took a moment, and you just took a breath,
Yeah.
and then you went. So then that was lovely. I might do 3 breaths.
Okay.
So a little quieter.
Okay.
Just tug. You know, if tugs his reward, clearly
Yes.
yes, that's good. But I wouldn't throw it. I would just kind of keep his arousal a little bit down.
Okay.
Because we know with border collies, when they get too aroused, they get a little frenetic.
Yes.
Right? And so we got to refocus all that I want me to do here. And you know, he doesn't need, in terms of like the liver chalk lines and stuff, he doesn't need that. Like I said, when I just did that, he found that extra sense.
Okay.
You know, so stuff every once in a while right after a turn or something to help him focus.
Okay.
But in his case, the articles, there was almost too much. All these articles all along here got him kind of, I think, super aroused with all the scent in the air that plumed out from those and it fanned out. So we'll probably end up using more of the small. Did you pick up a washer out there? Is that?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I'll probably end up using more of those with you. The small
Okay.
little articles.
Small
You got that
articles.
fine. You know,
Okay.
that was nice.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's
great.
funny because he skipped over this but got that. That's because I think we first got out of the parking lot and there's so much set around, and then he picked up the set from the plastic one and went to that one. So
Okay. Great.
or
Thank
the,
you so
the
much.
metal one rather. So
Okay. Good
you did
job, bud.
okay. You did pretty good.
Yeah.